someone said, yo Jackson, like tomorrow you got to choose. You can be bodybuilder athlete and keep going down this road, or you can be businessman and have all the money, but you can't have both. I take option one without even thinking about it. Because being the athlete and pushing towards that goal, that's what gets me out of bed at 5 a.m. every morning, you know, and seeing how far I can push my body and how far I can push my mentality. My daily schedule is unbelievably the same, day in, day out. Basically copy and paste. And you know, sometimes I forget what day it is, you know, like, because they start to blur one into the next. Daily mission. And I'll wake up at 5 a.m. and I'll take Ryu out for a walk. And then I'll come in, I'll make my health drink. And then that's when I'll start work around sort of 5:45. And I do that because training now is so hard that my brain is compromised to do work after the training. So I'll generally work for 2.5 hours, and that time at the moment is mostly subjected to coaching and responding to client check-ins and adjusting programs. After that, I'll go and do the form check. So I'll check my physique and I'll tape my videos and I'll do 3 rounds of posing. It's one of those things that you need to practice it every day to master it, I think. So I do. I practice it every morning. I rewatch my videos, try to correct my posing and analyze my physique and checking how it's progressing. And then I'll come inside and I'll write my daily contract in my journal. That'll be a combination of daily non-negotiables, things that I must do without fail. And I remind myself of them every day. You know, so and remind myself of those ambitious goals so that therefore my behaviors naturally calibrate in the direction towards those goals. You know, if you're going to be calling yourself a pro athlete or a pro bodybuilder or an Olympian in your contract or your journal, you bet damn well you're going to start behaving like one of them for the rest of your day.
맨날 그래도 맨날 하듯이 이제 그렇게 하죠. 근데 이제
그런 기분에 젖어 있기보다는 뭔가 더 집중을 해서 뭔가 몸을 만들어야겠다라고 생각을 하는데 막상 이제 제가 또 몸의 모습이나 거울이나 이런 걸 보면은 조금 어떤 전보다 더 잘 만들어낼 수 있을까라는 그런
Don't expect to be happy right now.
아무래도
It's time to get better.
My cardio is a test. I try to push myself. I don't try to push myself, I push myself. And it's cardio for me is not supposed to be comfortable. It's supposed to be a push. You know, it's not supposed to just be ticking the legs over or accumulating some steps. That's not cardio for me. And I make it a challenge and I work hard with it.
At Olympia, I met Jaehyun. We exchanged Instagram handles. We chatted a bit on the DMs, got some photos together, and I made a promise to myself that this year I will turn pro, and when I'm in Korea, I will train with him as a pro. I will force that to happen this year. The pro card must come first, and then we will train together, and then be able to show a 6-month comparison of medium as basically a fanboy, and then training with him as a pro. I've written it in my contract. Once it's in the contract, it must happen. It's not gonna fucking happen unless I work harder than everyone else. I cannot make things like that in my contract if I'm not willing to work harder than everyone else. Otherwise, I have no right to have those big, boldish goals. If I'm gonna make those goals, my actions need to reflect my words. I will not be a talker. I'll walk larger than I talk. When everyone's getting scared in prep because it's getting hard and their body feels like shit and they're hungry and their energy's low and they're trying to figure out ways to avoid the suffering, I'm just gonna lean into it. Bring it on. Harder the better. The harder the better, because I know the harder it gets, the more people start falling off. That's time. Fucking hell. I'm just imagining all the people in their preps right now that are going to be going against me doing their fucking slow walks on the treadmill. You're just giving up edges and I'll take him. I have unwavering belief that the hardest workers will get rewarded. So everything that I do this prep, I just ask myself, am I taking the hard road? I want to be the guy that thrives, you know, when the shit hits the fan, the body's on red line, body feels like it's falling apart from the lack of food and the high training load, and everyone's looking for the ejector seat, you know, panicking. I'll stay calm. Stay calm in the house when it's on fire. It's 2024, which means it's the Mamba year. So I draw a lot of inspiration from Kobe or Mamba this year. You know, his approach to mastering his craft and pursuing his goals was second to none. And he just went with the approach of, I'm not here to have fun, I'm not here to make friends, I'm not here to make it easy. I am just here to work as hard as fucking possible and to work longer and more than everyone else to fully unveil my potential. That was his mindset. And I'm going to tap into that.
After my cardio, I'll do my mobility routine. That was something I picked up from the German IFBB pros that I hung out with, and you know what? It's something I never cared for, something I never thought was worth it. But then, you know, they encouraged me to try it. And I'm like, yeah, it helps. It's giving a 1%, and I'm just at the point now where I'll scramble any 1%ers that I can, you know, because anytime you don't take a 1%, give it to someone else that wants it more than you. So even if there's only a chance at a 1%, I'm gonna do it. You know, I'm gonna chase that 1%. And then I'll do my vacuum training, 10 rounds, and that's just to help with the midsection control and the waist size. Also to help with stomach control when you're gonna be on stage. A lot of people, you know, they fall places on stage because they can't control their breathing and their midsection on stage, and it's I refuse to let that be one of the reasons why I don't win, you know, or I don't be to the max potential that I can competitively.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tuna and cucumber, have salmon, cucumber, avocado. These are my no carb meals, so I have them as my last two meals. And then I have 2 meals, which are just chicken, potato, and onions. So that's meal 3 and 4, exactly the same. Meals 5 and 6. Just about to have meal 1, the pre-workout meal, which is cream of rice, whey, and banana. And then the post-workout meal is no banana, just cream of rice and whey. So get everything made by pump. Everything's weighed out to the gram. No cooking with oil, no bullshit. So I'm basically doing my entire prep diet on pump meals. That's how much I trust it. Green tea with lemon and stevia, no calories. I'll have that with my meal 1 here before we go and train. People talk about like how expensive it is to like buy meals. Number 1, it's not that expensive because it's barley prices. But number 2, by doing all of this, the amount of time you save, hours and hours in your week, hours that I can better put towards number 1, business stuff, and number 2, being dedicated towards this prep and being the best bodybuilder that I can be. So everything that I do is just set up to try to make the process the most efficient as possible, so I'm not wasting time or being stressed over things that are just not necessary to the end goal. So the more efficient that I can make the approach, so I can be more focused on the hard things, the training, the recovery, pushing myself during the cardio. The more that I can focus on those things and less of the irrelevant stuff like cooking and grocery stores and shit like that, the better I'll be as an athlete.
We always have a small training group. I'm a believer that when it comes to bodybuilding training to maximize your growth, it is advantageous to have like-minded individuals in the room with you that are willing to push you and guide you through those reps beyond failure that you can't get by yourself. You know, Dorian Yates, you know, he was the most, you know, he was a lone wolf, you know, and he would have loved to do training by himself, but he didn't. He always trained with a training partner, and that's because he realized that the training you just can't be as intense by yourself. It just can't be. So we train with a small group all the time, and our sessions are, we push ourselves as far as we can go.
Finish it! Finish it! Come on! Come on!
Got him. 1 for Jackson, 0 for Cade.
2. 3. Come on. Fight for this one. Fight for it.
Got 1 to stop.
Oh, you wanted 2?
Yeah. Now's the time to be greedy with the progressions. Shoot for 2 extra. Get 1 extra, yeah.
Under promise, over deliver.
Shoot for the moon, land on the stars.
The real hard part of prep is when you have to be selfish, and selfish people aren't the nice guys. But you know, I've researched success enormously in these last 2 years, and it's very clear to me that you need to be selfish to be successful. And probably the toughest one for me was this Christmas. Like, all my extended family, they got together for the first time in 3 years, and everyone went to massive amounts of effort to be able to make this family gathering happen with people driving long distances to connect. And it was in a place where I wasn't convinced that it was optimal for the contest prep. So I was the single family member that, against the family's wishes, I said I'm not coming, and that hurt, you know. They're the hard sacrifices that I don't think people understand. When I'm having to take a phone call with my nan, who's crying on the other end of the line because I'm not coming for Christmas, that stuff hurts.
6, come on. Come on. Another, let's go.
This is not the limit yet. Again.
2. Come on. 3, one more. All the way, all the way.
And you know, some of our sessions are 4 hours, 4.5 hours. And people will be like, oh my God, like that's like a full-time job. It is my fucking job. It's my number one priority in my life. So if it's my number one thing, why should I be concerned if I'm spending most of my day at the gym? That just makes sense for me. If you look at athletes in NBA or NFL, they spend most of their hours of the day at the facility. So for me, it's like I want to be at the facility on the training grounds for the large majority of my day if I consider myself to be a professional athlete.
4, let's go. Finish it. Finish it. Four. Come on. 2 more. Come on. Stay in. Stay in. Good. 1 more, Jackson. Let it out. One more. Yeah, let's go. Come on. Finish. Squeeze. Good.
Fuck, that was a big set.
7-6. Bubble. Good.
And then after the training, you know, we do our recovery routine, and we do our sauna, and we do our pool walks, and we get some sun, and we do the hot bath.
18 minutes and 30 seconds post-training, adding 30 seconds every week during prep. 18:30, like above 80 degrees in there, is a fucking challenge. That's why we're doing it. You know, like, people talk about the recovery benefits and the well-being benefits, and yeah, like I'm not certain of that. There could be some benefits, but the big benefit I'm certain of is the building the mental resilience. You good?
And I'll come home, I'll eat. So I do a little bit of social media stuff and some light messages on WhatsApp. And then sort of by 8:30, it's shut it down. Like, no more work, phone goes on D&D, charge in the wall, and I don't check it again, you know, because I want the brain to start calming down. I'll hop into bed around sort of 9:30, and that's it. And then I wake up at 5 a.m. and do it all over again. People that are the most successful, they are experts with the skill of repetition. You know, the ability to sustain long, consistent efforts of the same thing. You know, and my days will look very, very boring to some. You know, like, everyone could be able to do it once, you know, but try 150 days in a row and then see where you're at. I know where I'm heading. I have supreme belief in my ability to achieve these competitive goals. So much belief that to any outsiders, they label it as arrogance, of course. But that's okay. Because, you know, a lot of the most successful athletes, at one time in their career, they were labeled as arrogant. You know, they were labeled as arrogant up until the point that they became champions. And then all of those comments went away. You know, and I'd rather believe in myself and be labeled as arrogant than doubt myself. Because I can promise you that someone that doubts themselves, they're not gonna make it. They're not gonna make it. Someone that believes in themselves unwaveringly, they got a chance at making it. So I go all in on myself. I'm willing to put all the chips on black, and I will put on a masterclass of discipline and work ethic this prep, you know, because that's where I'm going to get the edge on people. You know, I'm not going to complain. I'm going to lean into the suffering when other people try to evade it and run from it. And I'm going to do consistently those hard things that people don't want to do. I have belief in that.